When we start talking about protein after the age of 60, the conversation has to change from what most people are used to hearing. See, when you were in your 20s or 30s, you could get away with not really thinking too much about where your protein was coming from. Your body was younger, your metabolism was faster, your muscles and bones were more forgiving. But once you hit 60 and beyond, things shift dramatically. Your body becomes much less forgiving when it comes to poor food choices, and the importance of high-quality protein goes up tenfold. It's no longer just about getting some protein into your diet. It's about making sure you're getting the right kind of protein. Now, a lot of people think protein is protein, that as long as they're eating beans, a protein bar, or throwing some egg whites into a pan, they're covered. But that's not how the body works, especially not after 60. Proteins are made up of amino acids, and your body needs a very specific set of these amino acids to build and repair tissue, to keep your muscles strong, to maintain your immune system, and even to keep your brain functioning properly. The problem is, not all protein sources deliver those amino acids in the right balance, and not all proteins are equally bioavailable. Bioavailability is just a fancy way of saying how much of that protein your body can actually absorb and use. Take eggs, for example. Eggs are a good food. They've got protein, they've got healthy fats, and they're much better for you than the processed junk lining the grocery store shelves. But the truth is, while eggs do provide protein, they're not the very best when it comes to muscle preservation in seniors. They fall short when compared to other whole food protein sources that have a higher density of the amino acids your body craves most at this stage of life. After 60, your body doesn't process protein as efficiently as it used to. It's called anabolic resistance. That means you need a higher quality of protein to stimulate the same muscle repair and growth that your body used to get easily when you were younger. And that's why the quality of your protein matters far more than just the quantity. Here's another way to look at it. Imagine you're trying to build a house. You've got bricks, but the mortar is weak and crumbly. You could have all the bricks in the world, but if the mortar can't hold them together, your house won't stand very long. In the same way, you can eat a lot of lower quality protein, but without the right amino acids in the right proportions, your muscles, your bones, your skin, and even your organs won't get what they need. That's why you can't just rely on protein shakes filled with soy or pea protein, or even think that eggs alone will carry you through. You need the strongest building blocks available to you. After 60, losing muscle is one of the most dangerous things that can happen. It sneaks up on people. You don't notice it at first, you just feel a little weaker, you struggle a little more to get out of a chair, or you don't walk as fast as you used to. But that's muscle loss, and left unchecked, it leads to frailty, loss of independence, and even higher risk of falls and fractures. That's why protein isn't just some number you're checking off in a diet app. It's your lifeline to strength, energy, and independence. And the only way to make sure you're winning that battle against muscle loss is by choosing the highest quality protein sources available. Eggs will give you some benefit, no doubt, but if you really want to hold on to your strength and health, you need a protein source that has all the essential amino acids in the right balance, that your body can absorb easily, and that will directly support muscle maintenance and repair. Think of it as leveling up. If eggs are good, there's something even better. And once you understand that, once you start putting the highest quality proteins on your plate every single day, you'll notice the difference. You'll feel stronger, your energy will stabilize, and your body will thank you in ways you never imagined. The bottom line is this: after 60, it's not just about hitting a protein target, it's about eating the right protein. That one decision will determine whether you're thriving in your later years or just barely getting by. One of the biggest challenges that comes with getting older is something most people don't talk about until it's already happening, and that's muscle loss. Now, you might think muscle is just about strength, about being able to lift weights or look fit. But muscle is far more than that. Muscle is your body's reserve tank of energy. It's your armor that keeps you steady, protects your bones, and allows you to move freely. And when you lose muscle, everything else starts to fall apart. The medical term for it is sarcopenia, and it's one of the leading reasons why so many people over 60 begin to struggle with independence. Think about it. Every time you get up out of a chair, every time you climb a flight of stairs, every time you carry groceries into the house, you're using muscle. When that muscle starts to shrink, those everyday tasks that used to be automatic start to feel harder. And here's the truth. If you don't make it a priority to protect your muscle as you age, you'll lose it faster than you think. This isn't about vanity. This isn't about building a bodybuilder's physique. This is about keeping your freedom, your mobility, and your quality of life. Now, the good news is you can fight back against sarcopenia. You don't have to just accept it as a part of aging. In the very first line of defense is the food you put on your plate. Exercise matters, yes, but if you don't give your body the raw materials it needs, no amount of walking or lifting is going to preserve your muscle. That's where protein comes in, but not just any protein, the right kind of protein. The kind that's rich in the essential amino acids your body needs to keep building and repairing muscle tissue, even when you're past 60. See, your body is constantly breaking down muscle and rebuilding it. When you were younger, this process was easier. You could eat a sandwich or a couple of eggs and your body would snap into gear, repairing and rebuilding with ease. But as you get older, your body becomes resistant to that process. It takes a stronger signal to get your muscles to respond, and that stronger signal comes from high-quality protein. If you're relying on lower-quality sources or not eating enough at each meal, you're not giving your body the tools it needs. And what happens when you don't have the tools? The repair job doesn't get done, and little by little, your muscle slips away. The protein food I'm talking about here has a complete amino acid profile, meaning it delivers all the building blocks in exactly the right amounts your muscles are looking for. It doesn't leave gaps. It doesn't force your body to search elsewhere to complete the process. It gives you exactly what you need in one package. That's why it outperforms eggs and why it should be the centerpiece of your diet if you're serious about maintaining muscle after 60. Here's something else most people don't realize. Muscle isn't just for movement. Muscle actually acts like a bank account for your metabolism. The more muscle you have, the better your body handles blood sugar, the steadier your energy levels, and the more resilient you are when stress hits your system. Lose muscle and suddenly your metabolism tanks. You feel sluggish, you gain fat more easily, and you put yourself at higher risk for conditions like type 2 diabetes. That's why protecting your muscle with the right protein is about far more than looking strong. It's about keeping your whole system in balance. Another thing I want you to think about is falls. For people over 60, a simple fall can change everything. One bad fracture, one broken hip, and life may never go back to what it was before. Strong muscles act like shock absorbers. They protect your joints, they help you catch yourself, and they give you the stability to move confidently. Without strong muscles, every step you take becomes riskier. And the easiest, most powerful way to build that strength is through consistent, high-quality protein intake. I've had so many people tell me they thought they were eating enough protein, only to realize that their body wasn't responding the way it should. Once they made the switch to this higher-quality protein source, their energy improved, their workouts started paying off again, and they noticed their strength coming back. That's not coincidence. That's biology. When you give your body the exact building blocks it needs, it rewards you with more vitality and more resilience. So, when I say this food is the real muscle, savor after 60, I mean it. Eggs are fine, protein powders can have a place, but nothing comes close to the effectiveness of this food in preserving your muscle, your metabolism, and your independence. Muscle is the difference between living fully and merely existing, and protecting it should be at the very top of your priority list. The bottom line is simple. If you want to stay strong, mobile, and independent after 60, you must fuel your body with the best protein possible, because muscle is your lifeline. When we talk about protein, it's easy to think that all we need is grams on a nutrition label. People will say, well, this shake has 20 grams of protein, this bar has 15, these eggs have 12. And while that looks good on paper, the truth is your body doesn't live on numbers, it lives on nutrients. Protein is absolutely critical, but protein by itself is not the whole story. Your body needs a symphony of nutrients working together to actually use that protein effectively. Without the right vitamins and minerals alongside it, the protein you're eating isn't performing at its full potential. That's why nutrient density is the secret weapon, especially after 60. When you were younger, you could get away with a diet that was less than ideal. You could run on empty, grab something quick, and your body would find a way to keep going. But the older you get, the less margin for error you have. Every bite matters. You need foods that don't just give you calories, but give you the most nutrition possible for every bite you take. That's where the real difference between eggs and the better protein source shows up. Eggs are a good food, no doubt about it. They've got some protein, some healthy fats, a few vitamins, and they're far better than processed carbs or sugary junk. But if you really compare them side by side with the best protein food available, they don't stack up in terms of nutrient density. Think about nutrients like iron, vitamin B12, zinc, creatine. These are essential for keeping your body running strong, for fueling your brain, and for making sure your muscles can actually use the protein you're eating. Eggs just don't deliver those in the same powerful amounts. Let's take iron for example. As you age, iron becomes even more important. Not just any iron, but heme iron, the kind your body absorbs easily. Without enough of it, you feel tired, weak, and sluggish. Eggs have a little, but the food I'm talking about has far more, in a form your body can actually use right away. And that makes a huge difference in how you feel day to day. Then there's vitamin B12. Low B12 is a common problem in seniors, and it leads to brain fog, poor memory, low energy, even nerve problems. Eggs give you some, but not nearly enough to cover what your body really needs, especially after 60. That's where the better protein source shines. It's loaded with B12, and when you eat it consistently, your brain and nervous system thank you. Now let's talk about zinc. Zinc is one of those minerals that doesn't get enough attention, but it's critical for your immune system, your hormones, and even wound healing. If you don't have enough zinc, your body struggles in ways you may not even connect back to nutrition. Eggs don't offer much zinc at all, but the superior protein source does. And when your zinc levels are where they need to be, you notice stronger immunity, faster recovery, and better overall health. And then there's creatine. Most people associate creatine with athletes and weightlifters, but creatine is not just for young people in the gym. Your brain uses creatine, your muscles rely on it, and as you age, it becomes even more valuable. It supports your strength, your endurance, and your cognitive function. You won't get much creatine from eggs, but you get plenty from the food I'm recommending. And that's another reason it outshines eggs when it comes to nutrient density. The point is, after 60, you can't afford to waste your appetite on foods that are just okay. You need to be eating foods that are packed with both high quality protein, and the vitamins and minerals that make that protein work harder for you. That combination is what keeps your muscles strong, your brain sharp, your energy steady, and your bones resilient. This is how you get the most out of every bite, and this is why nutrient density is the key. I've seen it over and over. People who start focusing on nutrient-dense protein sources notice a difference within weeks. They don't just feel stronger, they feel more alive. Their thinking clears up, their energy comes back, their workouts or daily activities feel easier, and their overall health shifts in a positive direction. That's not magic, that's biology responding to the right fuel. So while eggs are fine, while they can be part of a healthy diet, they're not the #1 protein source for seniors who want to truly thrive. If you want to give your body every advantage in this stage of life, you've got to go with the food that delivers not just protein, but protein plus the critical nutrients that make everything else work better. When we finally get down to it, the question everybody asks is simple. What's the #1 protein food that beats out eggs, that gives you everything your body needs after 60, and that can truly make a difference in how you age? The answer is red meat, specifically beef, and even better if it's grass-fed. For decades, you've probably been told to fear it, to avoid it, to swap it out for something safer. But the truth is, when it comes to quality protein and nutrient density, beef is unmatched. It's the most complete package you can put on your plate. Let's start with the protein itself. Beef doesn't just have protein. It has complete protein with all the essential amino acids in exactly the ratios your body needs to build and repair muscle. That's why when you eat a good steak or some ground beef, you're not just filling your stomach, you're fueling your muscles, your bones, your immune system, even your brain. And unlike plant proteins, which your body struggles to use efficiently, beef protein is highly bioavailable. That means what you eat is what your body can actually absorb and put to work, but beef doesn't stop at protein. This is where it really separates itself from eggs and most other foods. Beef contains creatine, and creatine is something most people over 60 aren't getting enough of. You hear about it in gyms, but what they don't tell you is that creatine is just as important for older adults as it is for young athletes. Creatine helps your muscles contract, it supports endurance, and it plays a major role in brain energy. People who get more creatine often report sharper memory, better focus, and more consistent energy throughout the day. You won't find that in eggs, but it's built right into beef. Then there's carnitine, another nutrient abundant in beef. Carnitine helps your body transport fat into the mitochondria, which is where it gets burned for energy. Think of it as a fuel shuttle. It takes stored fat and helps your body actually use it. That means more energy, better fat metabolism, and a more efficient body overall. Again, eggs give you some nutrients, but they don't come close to delivering this kind of metabolic support. Now let's talk about iron. The form of iron found in beef is heme iron, and your body absorbs it much more effectively than the non-heme iron you get from plants or smaller amounts in eggs. Iron is essential for oxygen transport. Without enough, you feel weak, tired, even short of breath. And as you age, your ability to absorb iron declines, making it even more important to get it in the most usable form possible. Beef gives you that directly, and that's why so many people notice a lift in their energy and stamina when they start eating it regularly. B12 is another big one. Low B12 is rampant among older adults, and it leads to fatigue, brain fog, mood changes, even neurological problems if it's left unchecked. Eggs have some B12, but not nearly enough to prevent deficiencies in many seniors. Beef, on the other hand, is one of the richest sources you can eat. Pair that with zinc, which beef also delivers in generous amounts, and you've got a combination that strengthens your immune system. sharpens your mind, and supports healing and recovery in ways that no supplement or protein bar can replicate. For years, people have been told red meat is dangerous. They've been told it clogs arteries, raises cholesterol, or shortens lifespan. But when you look at the actual science, when you strip away the fear and the headlines, you find that whole, unprocessed red meat, especially grass-fed beef, is not the villain it's been made out to be. In fact, it's one of the most nutrient-dense, health-promoting foods you can eat, and it becomes even more valuable as you age. The mistake was demonizing the very food that has fueled human health and survival for centuries. I've seen people who are struggling, low energy, weak muscles, constant fatigue, transform their health just by making beef a consistent part of their diet. Within weeks, they start to feel stronger, their stamina comes back, their thinking clears up, and their workouts or daily activities feel easier. That's not a coincidence. That's what happens when you give your body exactly what it's been missing. Eggs can play a role, but they're not the top choice. Protein shakes can fill a gap, but they'll never replace real food. The number one protein food after 60, the one that protects your muscle, fuels your brain, strengthens your metabolism, and delivers a powerhouse of nutrients in every bite, is beef. If you want to age with strength, clarity, and independence, this is the food that gives you the best chance to do it.